Take a vote right now.
Ready? The QR code is right there.
That's what makes it. Perfect. You're good to go.
Are you guys ready to dive in, learn about the science of happiness?
Yeah.
Very exciting. It is very exciting, really. My name is Erin. I travel around the world leading 10 different workshops ingrained in meditation and mindfulness, positive psychology, which we're going to dive into right now, emotional intelligence, conflict mediation, conflict competency, functional medicine, nutrition, how do we feed ourselves? It's actually a really good conversation to have at a chocolate company. Yoga, yogic philosophy, understanding the body and how to connect to the body. And the queen of all the workshops I share really is accounting of the soul meditation. So deep inner check into self. Who are you at your core? Deep Freudian work, showing up for the world around you. I'm from here, Chicago. I have a very corporate background. I used to open up, you guys familiar with Protein Bar?
Yeah.
I did their marketing and I would open up restaurants and I mean, it's the restaurant industry, so very like every day different happy hour, and just so much stress, like so much chronic fatigue. All the women I was working with were struggling with fertility issues. All the men had like just extreme stress, high cholesterol, heart disease, everything in that conversation. At that same time, I was approached to lead a trip abroad. So I led a trip to Israel. I stayed for 6 months, and I learned to live off the land. I studied conflict. I studied Judaism. I studied Islam. I became a functional medicine nutritionist. And ultimately, that led me to India. When I moved to India, I was living in the slums of Mumbai, serving in the slums of Mumbai, educating youth on hygiene and female empowerment, and living in different ashrams and spiritual centers. Dated a famous Bollywood actor, accidentally joined a cult, lived in silence for a while, you know, like all the vicious things that happen. Received my acceptance letter to Columbia when I was living in a silent ashram in southern India. So I came back home, moved to New York, got my master's in clinical psychology and education. And now today I travel and I educate on this integration of both. So what I like to call it's a little bit of Eastern ideology and a little bit of Western science. The cool thing about modern day wellness, like true wellness, like what does it look like to be happy? What does it look like to be healthy? It is positive psychology. So we see this a lot with our social workers, with our therapists, with cognitive behavioral therapy, kind of the yogic movement. People are changing over time. And I think workshops like this are really facilitating that deeper understanding and that deep connection. So I'll hang out for a little bit if you ever want to talk. I'm based in Chicago. I travel excessively, lots of retreats, and I work with people one-on-one and in a group setting to deeply connect to themselves and the world around them. But for now, we meditate. So who here has ever practiced meditation? Beautiful. So I teach active meditation. It's geared for somebody with ADD, ADHD, anxiety, depression, compulsive, sometimes negative thought patterns. It's for us. It's for our demographic, our group. How stressed are you right now? So I want you just to take a moment. You can roll your shoulders back, unclench the stomach. We stuck in our stomach all day. It's really not good for your lungs. So just check in. How stressed are you right now, and how do you feel in your body? We're going to move into one meditation practice. It's a very gentle and healing practice. And to do this, I need everyone to stand up. And we're going to throw everything on the ground. I'm kidding. And we're going to, I want your feet to be about hips width distance apart, maybe a little bit more. You'll notice that your toes will point outwards if your hips are tight. And I want you to slowly sway from your core, letting your arms be heavy, hitting the base of your back. Now very slowly, I want you to close your eyes. The difference between movement and movement meditation is your breath. I want you to inhale to the left and exhale to the right, in and out of the mouth. When you inhale, your belly expands. When you exhale, you pull your belly button towards your spine. We're here for a couple breaths. Be gentle with your thoughts. Go. Inhale left, exhale right. And very slowly let your arms come back to your sides. We move into a state of stillness, recognizing what it feels like to be still in the body. We move into a grounding mindfulness practice, a healing practice when you're feeling anxious. We picture golden braided roots from the sole of the foot, moving through the floor into the ground and connecting to the earth's core. The sole of the foot is connected to the soul of the earth, your mantra, your statement to self. I am grounded, I am centered, I am present. Picture this connection. I am grounded, I am centered, I am present. Picture this connection. Very slowly, once again, we begin twisting from our core, letting our arms be heavy and swaying. In this practice, we add the opposite breath. This time we inhale to the right, exhale to the left, in and out of the mouth. When you inhale, your belly expands. When you exhale, we pull our belly buttons towards our spine. We're here for a couple breaths. Be gentle with your thoughts. Go. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. And very slowly, we let our hands come back to our sides. We move into a state of stillness, recognizing what it feels like to be still in the body. We come into our grounding mindfulness practice. We picture gold and braided roots from the sole of the foot, moving through the floor into the ground and connecting to the earth's core. The sole of the foot is connected to the soul of the earth, your mantra, your statement to self. I am grounded, I am centered, I am present. Picture this connection. I am grounded, I am centered, I am present. Picture this connection. Very slowly we come together. Inhale deeply through your nose, lower belly expands. Exhale through your mouth, let it go. One more time, inhale. And exhale, release. And when you're ready, you can roll your shoulders back, gently open up your eyes, coming into this space. If you have kids, if you work with kids, if you once were a child, you'll notice they naturally move, they naturally sway. As adults, we forget this over time. What do? We breathe into our shoulders. Everyone's breathing into their shoulders. What this does, it activates the amygdala, the center of the brain. You're only using about 50 to 60% of your lung capacity. So it turns on the amygdala, which is your flight, fright, or freeze. When you breathe into your shoulders, you are living in a state of panic. One thing you can do, breathe into the depths of your lower belly. There's one breath I will offer you. It's 2 inhales, 1 exhale. So inhale, lower belly rises. Inhale, upper chest. Exhale, let it go. Let's do this a couple more times. Inhale, lower belly. Inhale, upper chest. Exhale, release. A lot of you are still breathing into your shoulders. So picture a baby laying on their back and their stomach rising and falling. Inhale, lower belly. Beautiful. Inhale, upper chest. Exhale, release. So that's something we call the yogic breath. It's in the lineage of Shivananda. He's a yogic educator. You can sit down. So the great thing about the yogic breath is it relaxes the nervous system. So I'm sure you've heard the benefits of meditation. That was one practice of about 8 billion. So if anybody ever tells you to practice one type of meditation, such as a silent seated meditation, and you think that doesn't work for you, that means there's a different meditation practice that is much better for you. You are not one thing. There's not one diet that is best. There's not one way to connect to a loved one. There are 8 billion people in this world. There's 8 billion different ways to connect. There are 8 billion different ways to meditate. If I were to measure your brain right now, we would notice more gray matter in the front of the brain. So this is the frontal cortex. Increases long-term memory. Center of the brain, amygdala. This is the flight, fright, or freeze. Decreasing gray matter there. We want to decrease activity there. And what we're researching right now is we're increasing activity in the insulae, which is where we measure spatial navigation and empathy and consciousness and compassion. It's very interesting work. But for now, we practice meditation. We're going to come back to, we'll end with a gentle meditation practice. But oftentimes, I bring these conversations to the workplace. So how many of you feel like you are very mindful? I'll give you an example. When you're showering, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about putting the shampoo in your hand, rubbing the shampoo in your hands, bringing the shampoo to your hair, rubbing it into your hair? No, you're thinking about how you have to do the laundry, how you're running late, how to get out of the door, all the million things that we have to do. And this is our thoughts over and over and over again. Mindfulness, slow down, concentrate, do one task at a time. Like, life-altering. What a concept. Accept how you feel in any given moment. Release judgment of yourself. Recognize how you're feeling and thinking in any given moment. One really quick way to come back into the present moment is to be mindful of your breath. It's to check in with your breath. Mindfulness is a big theme in positive psychology. A lot of happiness lies in the present. So the saying is, if you're thinking about the future, you're anxious. If you're thinking about the past, you're depressed. If you're living in the present, you're at peace. So your greatest present is the presence. So for the next 45 minutes, stay here, be present, listen to how you're currently feeling and thinking. Maybe you'll learn something cool and interesting. The science behind what makes life worth living. What an insane definition. Like, why isn't everybody studying positive psychology? So we're going to move into the themes of positive psychology that truly is life-altering. It's brand new research. That's the cool work behind it. So everything I'm offering to you is about 2 to 3 years old. One of the best ways to connect to positive psychology. Do you listen? Are you paying attention? When somebody is talking to you, what are you thinking about? Right now, I'm talking to you. What are you thinking about? So stay present, and we're going to move into an exercise. And you'll notice a lot of these things, they're very common. We do it all day in the work split here and at home. And I'll offer it to you in multiple trajectories of thought, in work and in real life. So I'll give you an example. You're in your boss's office and you get a promotion. And you run into your coworker's office and you say, Mary, oh my God, I got the promotion. And Mary is looking at her computer and she says, congratulations, doesn't make eye contact, and continues typing on. This is what we call passive constructive. It is the least mindful response, and we do it all the time. Why? Because we're addicted to our cell phones, right? So you're having a conversation, maybe you're at lunch, maybe you're at dinner, maybe you're with your kids, and they're on Instagram, and you're talking to them, trying to tell them anything, positive or negative news, and they're not listening. Huge conversation piece today, right now. Stop looking at your computer, look up. Same situation. You get the promotion. You run into Mary's office and you say, Mary, oh my God, I got the promotion. Mary looks at you and says, congratulations. I also got the promotion. Can you believe it? I'm so amazing. I'm going to do all these wonderful things. This is what we call passive destructive. Come on, Mary. You can do better. So this is actually, we do this all the time. So when somebody shares something with you and then you kind of overshadow it with your good news sentiments, we do this when we're trying to be relatable. So especially if someone's having a bad day and they come to you and they say, I'm having a terrible day, and you reply with, yeah, I'm also having a bad day. That's not necessarily the best and most mindful form of listening. Again, we do this all the time. We're not even aware of it. We call it being relatable. You're really kind of just avoiding the conversation piece. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Same situation. You're in your boss's office, you get the promotion, you're super psyched, you run into Mary's office and you say, Mary, oh my God, I got the promotion. And Mary says, congratulations, are you sure you're ready for that? You're gonna be working nights and weekends. Wow, your commute is gonna be so much longer. You're gonna be very busy. Are you gonna have time for that? Active, destructive. Active, destructive, my friend just called me, she got into Harvard. No joke. She calls her parents, Mom, Dad, I got into the MBA program, I got into Harvard. Their response, how are you gonna pay for that? How are you gonna pick up and move all the way to Boston? We do this most commonly with the people we love the most. Your partner comes home, your best friend, your parent, your sibling, something amazing happens and you reply with, yeah, that's cool. Can you really do this right now? Be present, say congratulations, and offer active, constructive. So this is the most, oh no, it didn't switch. Yeah, active, constructive. So this is when somebody offers you their good news. You run into Mary's office. Mary, I got the promotion. Mary says, congratulations, so happy for you. Tell me all about it. Offers eye contact, asks many more questions, and is very, very happy and excited for you. How often do we do that?
Not as much as we should.
We're so distracted. This is all listening. This is positive psychology. Are you present? Are you paying attention? Huge conversation piece. And now that I brought it up, you're going to be hyper aware of it, which is really good. Which of these is the most destructive? Crossing your arms, most destructive in a meeting. Crossing your arms, slouching in your seat, texting or emailing on your phone, losing eye contact with the speaker.
I would say
Yeah, yes. So that is number one. If you are busy on your phone and you are not offering your attention to the speaker, that is oftentimes the rudest response and the least mindful response. Following after that, crossing your arms. There's so much research behind body language. How are you perceiving yourself? How are you connecting? Literally cutting somebody away from your energy. Roll your shoulders back, collarbone smiling forward, pay attention, make eye contact. So eye contact is a high one as well. We oftentimes perceive that somebody is listening when you're offering them your eye contact. PERMA is like the sexiest conversation in positive psychology, and I'll offer it to you in a couple different ways to connect. So has anybody heard of the PERMA model before? So this is PERMA. So P is positive emotions and experiences. E, engagement. R, relationships. M for meaning. A is achievement. So positive emotions, experiences. Is your workplace offering positive experiences? Examples, something like this. This is something that the hope is a positive experience. These are the things we're trying to add more of in the workspace. But what about at home? Are you intentionally going out of your way to facilitate and bring positive experiences to your friends, to your family? We have to think about it both ways. Oftentimes with my clients, if I have somebody with, depression, anxiety, but I'll say a huge theme of understimulation. And we're going to get into that a little bit more later in this workshop, but this idea that we're understimulated. And in positive psychology, we learn that you have to go out and make your positive experience. So maybe you're really fulfilled at work, but then you come home and you're noticing that your romantic relationship or your connection to your children or to your friends, there's not a lot going on there and you need to nurture that conversation. Guess what? It's time to facilitate the P in PERMA. You need to have a positive experience. Summertime, go out, spend some time on the water, invite everybody over for a bonfire. These are the things we actively have to do now as adults, right? Like, when am I planning fun? When am I planning a positive experience? Engagement. Engagement is a huge conversation piece in the workspace. Do I like the people I'm working with? Am I engaged in my work? Am I paying attention? Engagement also has a lot to do with overall happiness in a day-to-day. Now we bring this in, and I educate a lot on emotional intelligence. And the father of emotional intelligence is Dan Goleman, if anybody read the book, Emotional Intelligence. And I did a lot of great research with him when I was at Columbia, and there's so much on emotional regulation. And this really falls into engagement. So what we found, there's this incredible study by Bartel Saavedra and Saavedra. They went to all these different meetings on the East Coast. They went to very diverse industries, and they sat in a 2-hour meeting. And what they found is that everybody in that meeting left the meeting at the same energy level. So if you are having a rough meeting and there's a lot of conflict in the workspace, guess what? You're not going to feel so awesome when you leave that meeting. The opposite is also true. If it's uplifting, if it's interesting, if you're talking about chocolate, it's very exciting, you're going to leave that meeting more upbeat, more engaged, more interested. So emotional regulation and engagement, they oftentimes partner. Are relationships. So it's increasing relationships in the workspace right now. And this is a very exciting conversation, but in the workspace, they're increasing women's groups. So women coming together and talking about pre and postnatal, talking about fertility and how it's really, I mean, this is a crisis, but it's really much harder to get pregnant today than ever before. And examples, this workshop. So are you bringing in meditation and mindfulness into your workspace? Are you having lunch and learns? Are you having honest conversation? And I'll tell you, one of the greatest things that happens oftentimes after these workshops, when we are communicating, when we are talking, people come up to me and say, oh my God, I forgot to humanize my boss. Like I totally forgot that my boss was also a parent and a sibling and has friends and that they're also feeling stressed just like me. Or I had no idea that my employee has been struggling with anxiety this whole entire winter season. Like, so have I. I wish I would have known. How often are we having honest conversations with our coworkers? So having these honest conversations, really increasing, sometimes we call it vulnerability, and we're definitely scared of that conversation, but to increase the R in PERMA, it's to have honest conversations with the relationships, so your coworkers in the workspace. This is also true at home. Go home. Has anyone here seen Brene Brown's Netflix special? Oh my God, you're missing out. This is your assignment for the weekend. So Brene Brown became super famous on accident for you saw it? No?
What's the special called?
Courage Over Comfort. I think, yes. Courage Over Comfort. Brene Brown, she accidentally became famous. She's an educator in Texas, and she talked about vulnerability. And it was so touching to so many people that it went viral. And then now she has all these incredible book deals and educates on this idea of courage and vulnerability. And she has this Netflix special. It is absolutely amazing, and I highly encourage everybody in this room to watch it. The big thing I get, universities will hire me, and what they want is like active relaxation. Like you're learning something, but you're also relaxing. So that's kind of how I feel like this Netflix Brene Brown documentary or special is as well. You're relaxing, but you're learning something as well. Check it out. Actively choosing to be honest and vulnerable.
Everyone's Netflix.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to check that out.
Called Courage?
Courage, is that what it's called?
Brene Brown, they're called Courage.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah. So one thing that she brings up, and this is something, we do this all the time. Brene Brown recommends that you say, in any situation, the story I'm playing in my head is this. Really good for work, really good for at home. So the example, she has many different examples. You'll watch it, you'll see her examples, but when you're getting called into your boss's office and you're not sure why, what is the story you're playing into your head? That you're doomed. Yeah, you're fired. So you walk in and your boss is taking a long time to get to the point, and you say, the story I'm playing in my head is that I'm in trouble or that I'm getting fired. And then they'll say, oh, no, it's you're getting a promotion. You're amazing. You're like, oh, thanks. Really big for our romantic relationships. The story I'm playing in my head is you're losing interest in this relationship. You're cheating on me, XYZ. When in reality, your partner may just be stressed and overwhelmed at work. The story in my head, the story playing in my head is XYZ. Check it out. It's really good research. We do this all the time. We make up our own stories. They're very elaborate and detailed. Shift. Be honest, be vulnerable, be authentic. Our relationships. Meaning is a huge one. How many of us are showing up to work with passion? How many of us are showing up to work with purpose? Passion and purpose. So, and I have a whole, how many of you read the book Man's Search for Meaning? So this is Dr. Viktor Frankl. He coined the term logotherapy. The first half of the book is about his time in Auschwitz, the concentration camps. And the second half is about the therapy that he coined called logotherapy. And it is the belief that you get to decide where there is meaning in your life. So for example, he was in the concentration camps, he was suffering in the Holocaust, all these horrible things were happening, everyone was dying around him. But he got to decide for himself how he connected to the sunset. And no one can take away the sunset for him. He got to decide the meaning in his suffering and how you connect to that. So it's the idea in which you get to control, you get to decide your reaction. And that's your gift. So how many of us are finding meaning in our own lives? This is a very extreme example, but it offers you how even in the worst case scenario, you can still control your reaction and honor the meaning in your life. In the workspace, how many of us find meaning in our work? So it's incredibly important that you get to decide. Maybe you're one of my clients, she's an accountant, and she doesn't really find meaning in her actual work of taxes, like really bored by it. She's super empathic, like very, she's a modern day woman, you know, like compassionate and lovely and wants to be present with everyone. Does not find meaning in her work. So we decided her job was to show up and be that good energy.